This has been years in the making, and losing 24 to nothing to, let me just paint the picture here, to a team that's fans were dressed as clowns months ago. Like losing to that team after you already lost to them in week 18 of the previous year, to miss the playoffs while clowns are in the stands. You have 10 months for that to kind of just marinate, that anger of that happening to you, to just sit there and stew. And what do you do, Colts? Do you come out there and prove everybody wrong, and show that there's not a curse, and that you're much better than the fucking Jaguars? Or do you have another game where you lose by, like, I don't remember what the score was. I think it was like 27-11 or something. The answer is it was even worse. This has got to be the worst Colts game I've ever watched. Basically, the game opened. We were doing pretty well. We were moving the ball really well. And then Matt Ryan throws just the worst pick you'll ever see. And it just felt like as soon as he did that, every player on our team thought, oh no, it's happening again. I give up. And then the rest of the game, it just looked like our players didn't want to be out there, and we just got bodied. And I have like a laundry list of things that I want to address with the Colts. The first thing is Frank Reich has to go. He's got to go. Like I'm okay with keeping him for the rest of the year, because I don't really see what good firing him right now would do. You know what I mean? Like, he's the only person on our team that knows how to call plays, apparently. So if we get rid of him, then
you could hire Andrew Luck as your head coach.
He'd probably just retire after like during preseason.
You get to the AFC Championship game like 3 years in a row, and you go, screw it, I'm done with this.
Yeah. He still ends up getting hurt every season somehow. Like, he's standing on the sideline.
He's just on the sideline. He just gets clipped, tears his ACL.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do this anymore. But anyway, I think even if we somehow, like by an act of God, if we make the playoffs this year, we're not going anywhere deep. So if we lose in the wild card round, I think we fire Frank Reich. Unless we win the freaking Super Bowl or like go to the AFC Championship game, we got to fire Frank Reich. He doesn't seem to have us prepared, particularly in games against shitty teams for whatever reason. Like, we go out and we lose 24-0 to the Jaguars, yet I will not be surprised if we go punch the Chiefs in the mouth next week and win. Yeah. Because that just happens. Like, we do that every year. Like last year, we lose to like a crummy team like the Jaguars, but then we'll have games where we absolutely eviscerate the Bills in their own stadium. And it just doesn't make sense. It defies logic. So it's like he just takes his foot off the gas against crummy teams, and we just get destroyed, or we play games that shouldn't be as tough as they are. We're in it to the last second, and then we win barely, or we lose to just an inferior opponent. And it happens all the time. It's happened every single year he's been our coach. He has not progressed. He's not developing. The other major complaint I have is he's just got no goddamn energy. Like, you watch him in interviews, you watch him in the locker room with the team, and he's just like, okay, guys, we did a good job out there. We got to climb that mountain 1% better, want to know every week. All the damn cliches that drive me insane. It's the same shit as Pagano, with freaking Pagano's endless cliches. It's just like he's the anti-Dan Campbell. Like, he has no, like, Dan Campbell makes you want to run through a wall for him. Like, he may not be the best tactician. I don't know. He seems to be doing pretty well this year, but he inspires.
Dan Campbell.
He inspires his team. Like, they will die for that man. And that's what I want out of my head coach. I want some fire. I want some energy. I don't want like Urban Meyer, where he's like being an asshole to his players. I just want something more than like, we'll look at the tape and we'll see what we did wrong, and we'll make the proper adjustments, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've heard that so much. I'm sick and tired of it. Going up the chain of command, Ballard, I don't blame him as much, but he does have his issues. Like, I don't know. All off season, everybody who has a brain was saying, we need more receivers. Our receivers suck outside of Pittman. They suck. They're inexperienced. We need more receivers. Are you going to sign a veteran receiver? And he laughs like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Well, Ballard, I think we did know what we were talking about because our receivers, when Pittman goes out, are about as good as me and you, Bill. Like we might as well pay us to go play receiver for the Colts because Paris Campbell, who's our number one receiver on Sunday, didn't have a catch.
Yeah.
Our other two receivers besides Paris Campbell, we had Mike Strawn.
Well, you know, Paris Campbell only gets 7 catches a year. That's just
well, he's really preserving those catches this week because he didn't use any of them. Mike Strawn was like our second receiver. He was drafted in the 7th round, I think, like a couple years ago. Then we had I don't even remember. The other guy was like a 6th round draft pick. Like you cannot have a receiving core comprised of Michael Pittman, who's a stud, Alec Pierce, who's a rookie and was concussed, so he didn't play.
How about Michael Strachan?
Yeah, it's Mike Strawn.
How what's his name?
Mike Strawn. It's pronounced Strawn.
Oh, it's not that you don't say the ch.
No, it's a mouthful, but it's strong. Yeah, he's
Okay.
I feel like he's got potential, but again, he's a 6th or 7th round pick. He's only in his 2nd year and he was hurt all of last year. Or no, he barely played all of last year. So it's like you can't rely on these receivers who may not amount to anything to make up the bulk of your core. Like it's ridiculous. I don't understand why we didn't go out and sign freaking Jarvis Landry, for example, or like just anybody who's not. I don't need a world beater. I just want someone who can get open, who can catch like 4 or 5 balls a game. Someone
Honestly,
reliable.
you guys should trade for Nelson Aguilar because he's looked pretty okay. And like, yeah, he was expensive, but I think for you guys, I think we would have traded him. You guys would. I think it would have been like 10 million. I think we would have had eaten 5. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like he'd be perfect for you guys. Also, you guys might still trade for him, but he's been looking okay for us.
He'd be the 2nd best receiver on our team.
Sweet grab for a touchdown, like right before half. But we can stay on the Colts.
Yeah, so receiving core, terrible. Tight ends, terrible. Like Mo Alley Cox, he blocks well. He's never developed into a receiver for some reason, even though he's huge. He just looks so slow when he catches the ball. And then one of our tight ends who looked really good in training camp got hurt out for the season. The other one who's like this athletic freak, Jelani Woods, he's just so raw. I don't think he's going to do anything this year. So again, like, I don't know why we're not trying to bring in someone who's established, who's done something, who can catch a few balls a game and provide experience. But our weapons are just terrible outside of Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. And a freaking blind rat on acid could have told you that. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a Matt Patricia to tell you that. Furthermore, our offensive line, which was once heralded as the strength of our team, looks atrocious, like absolutely awful. Probably the 2nd worst offensive line in the NFL right now, outside of the Bengals. Matt Ryan has no time. Matt Ryan is an old man. He can't move very well. So if he doesn't have time, he's going to get sacked or he's going to hurry himself into a terrible decision. It's just like our left tackle has been ignored for like the last few years. We haven't addressed that, only the most important position on the offensive line. We haven't tried to fix that really. We stuck Matt Pryor there, who's never played left tackle before this season. He sucks at left tackle. Danny Pinter, our new right guard, sucks. Braden Smith, who we paid like a top 10 right tackle, has looked about as good as my like 3-year-old cousin. At right tackle, he just gets blown up. Like Josh Allen was destroying him the other day. So he looks terrible. Glad we paid him all that money. And then Ryan Kelly, our center, who he's like the 3rd highest paid center in the league. He looks bad as well. Really, Quentin Nelson is the only lineman who's worth a damn right now.
How much per year is he getting paid on average?
Which one?
Quentin Nelson.
I think it's like 20 something.
20? Okay.
Yeah. And then outside of that, we don't give Jonathan Taylor the ball. We gave him the ball a lot in the first game, but he only touched the ball 10 times against the Jaguars. I understand we were playing from behind, but still, like, it's Jonathan Taylor. I feel like
in the first 2 drives, Jonathan Taylor should get 10 touches. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, try to set the tone.
Yeah.
And then from like an overarching problem that's kind of been there since Andrew Luck retired, I'm sick and tired of Band-Aid quarterbacks. I'm so goddamn tired of it, Bill. It's awful. Like,
the worst part is you've only been missing one piece since
I
Andrew Luck
know.
retired,
I
and
know.
it's Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
That's just it's so unfortunate.
But you look around the league, right? You look at the Chiefs. They took a chance and traded up for Mahomes. You look at the Bills. They traded up, I think, twice for Allen. You look at the Chargers drafting Herbert. I mean, you look at all these teams, the 49ers with Lance. We'll get to him later. We don't know what he's going to end up as, but they tried. And that's what I feel like the Colts they seem scared to try, and they seem content to be like, "Oh, let's take this guy out of the retirement home and put him out there." It's like I just want it's like they're afraid to just take a chance. And I would rather take a chance on a young quarterback and have him be a bust than just continue to settle for mediocrity. And I don't know, it's not really fair because Matt Ryan doesn't have a lot of time to throw, and he's just getting destroyed, and he's throwing picks, and he's hurrying his passes. But it's just like
I saw one where he and Mac Jones did this too, and I think it was Matt Ryan threw it literally to the Jaguars defender, and he just dropped it. Was that Matt Ryan or was that another game?
it
So it happened
probably
in the
happened.
Patriots game and a different game I was watching.
It might have been Wentz. I know Wentz almost
Yeah.
gave them a couple picks week one, but it's just a philosophical thing that I feel like the Colts are just kind of screwing up, because if you want consistency in this league, you probably should have a good quarterback, and you should probably have a quarterback who can stay in your system for multiple years instead of just going through them like toilet paper. Number 8, I've numbered these. Yes, this is number 8. If we suck this year, and it certainly looks like we will, though I wouldn't be surprised if we get our shit together.
You're not 0-2 though.
We're
How about
second
that?
place in the division, baby.
You're not 0-2.
We're second place in the division.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's something.
So if we turn it around like we do every year with Frank, we start so slow every year. This is another reason I want him gone. We dig ourselves a hole, and then we have to try to climb out of it. And I don't want to do that anymore. But if we don't climb out of it this year and we just suck, honestly, might be the best thing for us, because then we get a good draft pick in a quarterback class next year that apparently there's a lot of good rookie.
As you guys take a freaking guard at the 5th overall pick,
I would kill myself. I would be so upset if like
man.
If like Bryce is, what's his name? Bryce Howell? Is that his Bryce?
I think so. I know. Bryce Young. It's
Bryce Young. If Bryce Young is sitting there and we take a freaking guard, oh my god, dude. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past us either. We take a guard and then like Matt Ryan retires, so we like find some other old dude to sign. Like we lure like Ryan Fitzpatrick out of retirement or something. It'd be the most Colts thing ever.
You get Carson Wentz back. Carson Wentz gets cut by the Commanders and he comes back. Oh my goodness, that would just be would be pandemonium. That would be too much.
I don't think he'll step foot in the state of Indiana unless he has to, because Irsay will have him shot and killed on site.
Oh my goodness.
So that's about it for me. Like, I'm willing to suck this year to get a good quarterback. And if you have a problem with that, Colts fans, then enjoy mediocrity. I'd rather have that than just being average year in and year out. That's how we got Andrew Luck, right? We were really good, then we sucked for 1 year, and then we got Andrew Luck. Like, it's worked before. We should do it again.